So you may be wondering why this video is so much longer, and that's because I have a little bit more to add onto this. And don't worry, at the very end you will see a back row POV of my Kingda Ka creation. For starters, I want to thank Zach from Rad's Eye Productions for this park file. I did not create the park that surrounds the Kingda Ka creation. That was all created by him, so thank you for providing me with that. I also want to thank Ryan, Luke, and Aaron for helping me kind of learn the ropes of No Limits. For those of you that don't know, I have never really used No Limits before making this coaster. I may have made one when I first got it, but never finished it because, quite frankly, I did not like No Limits. But I knew that No Limits is the only coaster builder type game simulation that I could be able to make what I made here in, because in Planet Coaster you can't do a real shuttle or switch track kind of setup. So No Limits really was my only option, so I tried to do it the best I can, and I'm pretty happy with how it came out considering it is my first No Limits coaster. I do want to clarify though, as you can see in the coaster, there is not a turntable, and that is because I truly couldn't figure out how to do it. I couldn't figure out how to do a switch track or turntable, but imagine that if this was real, that it probably would have multiple train operations through the use of a switch track or turntable. But I do want to just go into the fact that it was very interesting learning this game. If you've never played or used No Limits before, trying to understand this coming from Planet Coaster is certainly a bit of a learning curve. It's a very, very different process you use to build the coasters. You use nodes as opposed to like building section by section, so definitely a bit of an adjustment, but I am very happy that I did learn it. And I do want to show you guys a little bit more inside this park file just to give you guys an idea of how it looks besides just these off-ride files. So let's jump right into the No Limits park. Alrighty, we are now inside of the No Limits park, and first things first, I do kind of want to talk about my thought process behind making this, because obviously we have seen the Mach Spinner, Mach Extreme Spinner, tower coaster concept tossed around quite a bit. And the most prominent aspect that has kind of been retained in all of those different creations is the stall and the giant tower. Of course, it looks a little different here than in some of the other ones, but that is because the prototype that we have seen in the surveys for multiple different Six Flags / Cedar Fair parks is just that prototype model where there is no back spike. You just launch out of the station, you have the stall, you have another little booster launch, and then you go up into the tower and come back down. Now, am I saying that that is what we're going to get at Great Adventure? No. Is that me saying that's not what we're going to get at Great Adventure? Also no. I want to leave the door open to other kind of possibilities and different ideas, as opposed to just kind of going off the same boring model and, you know, not having any variation. I wanted to do something a little bit different. So this right here, obviously, the spike is in a pretty interesting spot because it lines up perfectly with the parachute tower. I left some of the satellite imagery in so you can kind of figure out exactly where everything is in relation to the rest of the park. So this tower stands basically exactly where the parachute tower was. Obviously, it's pretty big compared to the parachute tower, probably have more footers and whatnot. That's where Twister was, right there. So the Golden Kingdom entrance would still be right here, and the station, of course, is moved up compared to where Ka's was. Now again, this is all just, you know, a guess, and this was my first No Limits coaster, so I couldn't be super precise with it. I also didn't really do much decorating or landscaping, because quite frankly, I haven't really taught myself how to do that yet in No Limits. This is not Planet Coaster. But I wanted to kind of open the door for something a little unique. So this tower, this spike, is exactly 456 feet tall. At the very top of that twist, that is 456 feet. And what I kind of like about this element is that it almost mimics what Ka did on the exit of the top hat with the 270-degree spiral. Because if I go up top here, you can see that it is indeed a 270-degree spiral. You don't make it all the way up, of course, because it is a spike, but very reminiscent of the original Kingda Ka. And then that tower over there, I believe, is around 475 feet tall. So a bit taller than Ka. That would make it the tallest coaster in North America. I tried to get this support structure to match as closely as possible to the one in the surveys, and I'm pretty happy with the way that it wound up coming out. But just for some perspective, you got Toro right here. I'll show you guys what this thing looks like from the top of Toro. I was having a lot of fun on my own time, just going around to the different coasters, not falling through the track, and seeing what they look like from all the different rides. So Toro obviously had an incredible view of Ka, and this is what it looks like now with this one. Again, this is not definite what Great Adventure is getting, but it's pretty likely it's going to wind up being a Mach Extreme Tower spinning coaster. Maybe it'll wind up like this, maybe it'll have a full circuit, we really don't know. This is just my little concept of it, and I also want to go down here to the iconic shot from the Frontier Adventures area, and just look at that. Very, very strange to see it like this. Let me zoom in for you guys so you can get a better view. There we go. Yeah, definitely going to take some getting used to. Of course, again, this is not the official version of what it's going to be, just an idea. but I wanted to show you guys what it looks like from inside the park at all these different vantage points. I also went ahead, we took out Daredevil Dive, Cyborg, all the rides that are going to be missing are not in this park file. Jersey Devil's not in here either because single rails are a little bit difficult to deal with inside of No Limits, but just wanted to hop in here and show you guys exactly what it looks like from inside the park. And obviously I left the Green Lantern plot completely empty. I wouldn't be surprised if that's what winds up happening temporarily. I do think it will not take long for another coaster to be built that will replace Green Lantern in this plot. If I decide to pursue No Limits a little bit more, maybe I'll give my idea for that, so stay tuned. But this is what it looks like inside of Great Adventure if it were real. So now let's jump back over and show you guys the back row POV of my version of Kingda Ka with a spike.